All still getting there. I can see 1, 2. The G trying to put it around as well. She's putting down back. Think about
G'day punters, welcome back to the MacBet NRL review video. We've had a little bit of a freshen up with a couple of weekend or long weekends. We're up to round 9 now, Corey. Magic round's upon us. How you feeling, mate? How you going?
Yeah, very good, mate. Very good. Magic round just around the corner next week. Pretty pumped. I haven't got any tickets. I'm sure you've probably got some hospitality tickets lined up somewhere.
I've secured a seat at the Triple M Legends lunch. So you were right on the money there. I've jagged something. I'm not actually going to any games yet, but as always, everyone's always sending me spare tickets and the hospo stuff.
I'm sure there's a +1 in there for me, I'm assuming. Or
yeah, we'll see. Regardless, mate, results been good. We finally lost this week, negative 0.5 units. So very small loss, negative 1.3%. I think it's the first time I've said the word negative on this show. April, you're up 38 units at 26%, winning at 27% for the season to date. That's 73 units in the bank. Yeah, absolutely airborne. You'd be a bit annoyed with the little mark against the name with the red column in the sheet.
Round 2, we had I think it was about 6 or 7 units we dropped in round 2, or round 3, something like that. But April obviously outperforming March. So March we thought was getting off to a fly, but pretty good in April, even better. So I'm pretty sure we'll bounce straight back, and especially with our Origin around the corner as well. So.
Absolutely, yeah, and it was an interesting round of footy. There was a couple of upsets. As always, we'll go through the scores of each game and just take a look at some of the bets you had and the logic as to why. And yeah, we'll just dive straight in. Okay, we'll jump into the first match of the round. It was Thursday night, Broncos and Sharks up here at Suncorp Stadium. A little bit of an upset here. Broncos got the wood, 16-7. Great to watch, Corey.
Yeah, great to watch. And I was pretty confident they'd go all right at least, but still wasn't too happy with their sort of team lineup structure and sort of how that rotation was going to go. A few concerns around how Husk would be with his injury, and it sort of proved mid-game. I think him and Reynolds both looked like they were in doubt to not even make the second half. And it's looking concerning for a while there. But they fought hard strong and trailed at half-time and got home with the win. We had a little early bet there on the +7.5 first half. Sort of expect these underdogs when you like them to start strong at least, especially at home. And that was a bit of an easy watch in the end. A couple of bets on the meters markets there. Haas, probably the smallest bet I'll take all year, and probably the smallest I will ever take. But yeah, 135, it looked pretty much easy, sort of interest. You put your money in and you get it out. But injury hurt there, and Jensen had probably a bit bigger game than what we expected. Ended up just eclipsing him there. So two units got rolled over, and Talakai being the other one. I think he's had a minimum 156 meters or something in every game at centre. So it just seemed like an easy one there, even though Mulatalo, I know it's going to get easy meters, but that seemed like an easy bet. In the end, Oatsy had a big game, and so we got dusted there. So although we got the small Broncos win, the play bets went over.
Okay, the early Friday matchup was the Titans and the Panthers. Panthers got up here 18-4 over the Titans. And yeah, here's the bets. Corey, I'll let you talk us through. And just for those joining us for the first time, the red bets are the ones we had earlier in the week. And I don't think this one's going to have to count because you've misspelled Titans.
Yeah, well, if bookies got done for misspelling, well, there'd be in a lot of trouble as well. So, no, in terms of this, 4 bets, all 1 unit bets, they all got up. So it was a pretty good game to watch, I guess, in terms of how it went. It's sort of been a bit against Penrith this year, and no discount on how good they are, but just sort of get a bit favoured in terms of how the bookies price. And Titans play a lot better at home, and they did in this game, but they actually led 4-0 half-time, and although it was 18-0 to Penrith in the second half, the +20.5 was an easy one there. Tino in the performance bet there, sort of a tough one to take when you're taking 440 about a price like him. He does make a lot of tackles. We expected them to defend a lot. Obviously, they didn't as much with Penrith not as dominating as much. But at the same token, Martin and May don't really get the opportunities to score. In contrary there, Aaron Clark, same thing, 36.5. He's going to generally make that in tackles alone. in the end, he only just got up. I think he would have even got up if it wasn't for, I don't know, it's one of the halves or something going off at the HIA with about 5 to go. Aaron Clark comes on and makes a couple late tackles. So we got a bit lucky there. And Isaac Targo versus Crichton. There's sort of a bit of a 50-50 one here. So we take about 210. But the thing is, Targo's he's a lot more active in terms of defence and meters and things like that. Got an easy try there. So, yeah, in the end, that was a comfortable watch on that one.
Okay, the late matchup on Friday night was the Rabbitohs and the Sea Eagles at Central Coast Stadium. The Rabbitohs getting up here, 40 points over the Sea Eagles, 22. Just the couple of bets here. I think that total moved a little bit, didn't it, Corey, getting closer to the jump?
Yeah, got out to, I think, 41.5, maybe even 42, 42.5 potentially. But, yeah, like it just seemed like easy traffic there. I couldn't work out why it was so low. It was expected to be quite good weather. So, yeah, pretty comfortable having the early 2 units on the overs there, and with Lawton getting marched, I think in the first 10 minutes, it was generally those sort of situations lead to open scoring, and yeah, it was probably one of the easiest totals you'll ever bet on the overs. I think in fact totals been pretty good for us this year, so definitely finding the right zone on those markets. Had the small little 1 unit there on Cam Murray. Generally has to have quite a big impact on base stats alone against players like Cook and Garrick. Garrick's going to tend to kick a lot of goals. But yeah, probably wasn't his usual sort of output. But yeah, he got a meat pie there. So that certainly pads the stats there. And that was a nice little win there at 270.
Okay, the early Saturday match was the Warriors and the Raiders out at Moreton Daly Stadium. And Finn's up there, and there was a bit of a blockbuster. Actually, Warriors getting up 21-20 over the Ricky's Faders. No good.
Yeah, don't know about blockbuster. Warriors were absolute terrible, and they still managed to get the chockies.
Blockbuster finish. I'll take it all back. I agree. I watched some.
If you call Matt Lodge his Oscar performance as a blockbuster finish, well,
too good. Too good.
But no discount to the Warriors. Like they probably didn't deserve to win, and like at the end of the day, it's the Raiders' fault for giving up the late lead there and losing the game. But yeah, Warriors were terrible, and in the end, Raiders still couldn't get the job done. So yeah, tough one to swallow when you got 2 units on the Raiders there. So we copped that one there. The Starling tackles bet ended up getting void because he got moved to the bench, but the high performance bet still stands. But yeah, obviously getting moved to the bench, it sort of hurts a fair bit there. Couldn't match the tackles that I think Aitken put out, something like 48 or something. Walsh, very quiet game for him. We took the over 51.5 there, and obviously them not scoring too well, but yeah, struggled to kick conversions as well. I think he ended up with 3 in the end, but just not a game where he produced his sort of usual impact. To be honest, in this whole year, he hasn't been probably as impactful as what he normally is. He's usually good for at least a try or a try assist in a game. He's probably one of the most ball-playing fullbacks out in the comp. So, yeah, low performance from him. We did get the win on the Adam Elliott bet, though. He was I guess, a benefactor from Starling getting moved to the bench. He went from lock to hooker. And, yeah, it's, as a result of that, I still don't know what sort of impact we're going to get out of him. But, yeah, plenty of tackles, pretty big game from him. And the two Warriors forwards there, yeah, couldn't really match it with his producing. Got a nice little price at 360, so sort of chop out game in the end. But yeah, we'll just take it on the chin and move on.
Yeah, happy with the 1.5 units on, and yes, if the Raiders could have stuck the neck out, could have been a much better result. Okay, Saturday afternoon, it was the Dogs and the Roosters at Accor Stadium. Going to have a bit of a strip out warning here before we get into the results, and yeah, watch the pain on Corey's face. But tough results for us here.
Ugly viewing all around, especially if you're a Roosters fan. I thought this is probably a great bounce back spot for them from the Anzac Day loss to the Dragons. They usually do bounce back in situations like this. Yeah, even had the late bet on them with a bit of a flurry in the second half. And full credit to the Bulldogs. Like, it wasn't even a case of the Roosters sort of not playing up to their usual standard. They had every call go their way and still couldn't get the chalky. So, yeah, whatever the magic dust that Gus sprayed on them at training last week, it worked. So, the 2 Roosters bets get done there. But even the Thompson bet there, Tupanua got a late meat pie with I think it was about 5 to go, something like that. So, Thompson probably would have got that one up there if not for that. So, it was a bit of a tough one to swallow. Sam Walker had 1 conversion, then Adam Kieran kicked the rest of the 2 goals. So, but they missed all 3 anyway. So, Not even a single point. I think he ended up with about 20 points. We've taken over 54.5, so not even close there with 2 units on. And Max King, he first game starting for the year, normally comes off the bench. His output off the bench is massive, but his starting impact wasn't even what he was doing off the bench. So, normally a bet where I probably price it. I think I had it rated 134 there, but normally would have taken about 2, potentially even 3 units in a situation like that. But with a few unknowns, you've got to play lightly. And obviously the bets went out a bit early with a few things on Saturday. So, it's probably a good decision in the end to just play light. And, that got rolled there.
Okay, Eels and Cowboys clashed up at TIO Stadium on Saturday. Cowboys got the wood 35-4 over the Eels, gave them an absolute pasting. And, you've had quite a few bets here, Corey.
Yeah, we had the late unit too on the Cowboys here. I thought you'd sort of get replicated conditions like they get in Townsville, and I was probably one of the biggest knockers of them at the start of the season, but they're certainly turned up, and they just, I don't know, they're just gelling pretty well, and they're third on the ladder, and rightfully so, but can't see that probably continuing long term down the track. But now full credit to them, and they really shut the Eels out and didn't even give them a chance here. So good win to them. But we had a few bets on Reed Mahoney in most tackles and player performance. And big game from him. He had about 48 tackles and a pretty solid game, but couldn't even match it with Robson in the most tackles. I think it was a dead heat in the end, 48 apiece. So we took the dead heat there. And in the Holmes one with player performance, Holmes was just too good there. Plenty of meters, plenty of points. I think he had 11 points in the end. So easy 44 points from there. So cop the L there. We had Tom Malolo also in the performance bet. Gutherson was fine, but Robson, massive game from him. Unfortunately, pipped us there. And Drinkwater in the most meters. Sort of one where I didn't value him to be the best out of the 3, but 440, nice little price at fullback. Unfortunately, big game from Holmes, I think about 163 meters and pipped him there. So a few little tough ones there, but at least got the Cowboys with the win.
Okay, Knights and Storm Sunday afternoon at McDonald Jones Stadium. Storm just continuing their run, winning 50-2. They're just absolutely decimating teams at the moment, and we just had the 3 bets, Corey.
Yeah, it's like, I know, I think that Simpsons meme of stop him, he's already dead sort of meme got circulated probably 10 minutes into that game on Sunday. So, no, they've been on fire. We did actually have a couple of bets on Harry Green and Munster going under here. Massive totals there, 69.5, 59.5 for their performance. In saying that, Munster still got a try and a try assist. Harry Green had 2 try assists. So always in danger from the outset there. But they both still hit the line because of obviously just the sheer weight of possession there. Both teams couldn't even really get a chance to defend. So that hurts a guy like Harry that makes plenty of tackles. So, nice little couple of wins there. But the Clemmer bet, probably a bit stiff in the end. Olam got some nice late meters there, which unfortunately pipped Clemmer at the post there. Otherwise, it would have been a complete fill for the early game.
Okay, Dragons Tigers was the Sunday afternoon match at Wynn Stadium. Dragons winning again, 12-6 over the Tigers. 4 bets.
Yeah, trucking along nicely. There was a couple of sides actually both coming off a couple of wins as well. So one was always going to go 3 straight. But we had the sort of following in the trend of players going over this week. We copped another loss on Zach Lomax. Again, the output as a goal kicker just simply wasn't there. And obviously being a low scoring game, it's definitely hard to score plenty of points there. Had McCulloch in most tackles, went off with a HIA early. That hurt a little bit, but in the end, I think DeBellin had like 2 or 3 extra tackles, topping the score sheet for them. So got done there. Moses, probably not one I would generally take for him. He's not very peripheral when it comes to this sort of scoring, but 20.5, just an absolute low player performance total. For a fullback, he ended up with 15 tackles though. That was an easy watch there. We got the win there, and Jackson Hastings, sort of one that watching the game live, I actually didn't think he would win this one. Hunt scored a try, and DeBellin was having a big game, but Hastings in the end ended up with, I think it was about 60 points in the end. Just the 1 goal kick, but try assists, meters, tackles, just massive game from him, and probably the only shining light in that Tigers side at the moment. So, a bit of a chop sort of game. I think we took a slight win. So,
okay, that concludes our review of NRL round 9 and how we went. Like I mentioned earlier, we lost the 0.5 units, but we got a little bit stiff there with a couple of players going off injured, a couple of goal kickers not doing their thing. So happy to sort of escape with the chop out for the week. But Corey, we're 9 rounds into the season now. You'd be starting to look at the futures again. I know you sent something in the Discord at the start of the season. You were playing the Storm. How are you seeing that market currently? Where do you think it's going to move?
Yeah, so results probably trending our way at the moment. Yeah, started early with the Storm. They've had quite a few home games and, winning accordingly. So, as you sort of touched on, quite dominating too. So, that team's only going to get stronger and stronger providing they avoid injuries. Obviously, they'll cop a little bit of origin time. But, we've obviously using up a lot of their home games early on. Might be a time soon to maybe reassess and look where we can sort of maybe trade out on that potential play. Same with sort of Penrith, Roosters, Manly, sort of mentioned a bit of sort of lean towards those. I think it's about round 3, round 4 as well. Roosters obviously not trending so well. Manly copped a bit of a short straw there with Turbo getting injured. He comes back this week though, so expect that to slightly turn around. Penrith, the other team, obviously been quite dominating. They obviously meet Melbourne in Magic Round, so that'll be exciting one, but we'll definitely start to reassess in the next couple of weeks, especially heading into the origin period. Sort of looking at those sides that will be heavily affected and those that won't be. So.
Okay, you made mention of origin there. We're going to be having some bets in those games. How do you find those player performance markets? I think we've touched on it in a video previously. You get some bookies put up some wacky sort of wacky markets considering players with positional changes, etc. How do you find the origin games to sort of bet into?
Yeah, well, the origin itself and then also the games that are affected by origin. There's a lot of unknowns as to how players will play and certain sort of outputs and minutes and just basically how they're used in general. So sort of like the start of the year when these markets first popped up and we got some great bets going off and it was a lot of games that we could have gone a lot harder, but those prices are a lot more mismatched than what they've been in recent weeks, where they've been a lot tighter and stringent. I expect that to sort of open up a little bit for games, NRL games in those impacted periods, but also Origin itself. Touched on like just certain players that sort of get valued accordingly, but they're not really like that. I don't know. It could go one or two ways. It could be heavy units and egg on our face, but hopefully the other way around. And I expect it to be the latter, to be honest. So.
Excellent. And just quickly, how are you finding the player performance markets holding up after we're sending out the bets? I know they were moving relatively quickly in those first couple of rounds, but it seems to have calmed down a little bit now. We can sort of still get on. I think the bookies are a little bit more confident in what they're doing. How are you finding that?
Yeah, prices sort of holding up a little bit of late. I think while there's a lot of chat getting thrown around, forums, Facebook, stuff like that, everyone seems to have a bit of an opinion potentially. So there's going to be probably a few other decent judges out there having a swap at some prices, but in the same token, they can go in our favour and some prices get pushed out. I think at the end of the day, the books are probably still going to come out on top. They're going to take plenty of recreational money and that sort of stuff as well. So I think in turn, as the markets get more efficient, we'll be able to basically get on and not expect the price to move too much. I'm noticing myself personally, whenever I touch them, they're pretty much just like getting halved in no time now. They seem to be only coming in a few rolls. So, you're spot on there. So. A
little bit of a trumpet there. We'll keep an eye out on Punt Hub, see if there's anyone tipping up a Storm, and we can just find a little angle there and bet against the mug money, which is good. Apologies to any Punt Hub people there, by the way. But guys, if you want to get Corey set, just head to macbet.com.au/NRL. We're running a $5 weekly trial at the moment. So when you're at the checkout, type in trial 5. That'll just discount the price straight down to $5. And then it reverts back to $50 the week after and ongoing. So more than welcome to cancel before that. But give it a go. Hopefully back a couple of winners and good luck this round, Corey.
Cheers, mate. Have a good one.